Hey everybody, Sarge here. Just decided to do a quick little video here of a game I had the other day where I got a solo warrior in the saipan. This is not a remarkable game in any ways, but I wanted to commentate on it a little bit because I couldn't sleep. And I called the doc and he said, hey, well, get your stuff together and, do a YouTube video. And by the time you're done figuring that out, because you're crap at editing videos, you'll be ready to basically rack out. And I was like, yeah, I will be. So I'm actually in this game, which was close to 2 weeks ago now, with my buddy Wombat in the Benson. I'm in the Saipan, and this turned out to be a pretty good game. It really wasn't very remarkable in as far as damage or trauma, but certainly it's proof that anything can happen at any time in a game like this, where you cannot predict the outcome or what your input into the game really is going to be or not be. And that's all okay. So here we go. It's basically a standard opening for a carrier. You launch your fastest planes first, you launch your attack bombers, and you run out there and try and spot as much as you possibly can. And this is what a lot of this game is. Actually, it's me spotting targets and spamming torpedoes and dive bombers, because the Saipan's pretty easily deplaned, basically. So moving forward, now, here we are. We're at the beginning of the game. I'm heading towards the center cap point, and we obviously have a storm coming in, so I want to stay away from that. Fortunately, the enemy carrier is leaving me alone, and we are just moving forward piece by piece, step by step, seeing what we can see. Standard things that you do in normal CV play now. And now we're starting to find targets, which is very beneficial for my team. This is actually what I want. I want to stay away from their anti-aircraft bubbles, and I want to find as much as I can. I do believe I find one of the destroyers there. Yes, I did. That's very good. And we're moving forward. We're moving forward. We're moving around. We're doing what we have to do. We're trying to help our team. That's the whole goal, is to try to help your team, because you play for fun, yes, but you also play to win. And I like video games, but nobody likes losing a game. Nobody likes losing a game of chess. Nobody likes losing a game of checkers. Just the way it is. So, unfortunately, my first squadron there, I did run into an AA bubble there when I found all those targets and got obliterated. So now we're up with torpedo bombers, and we're going to keep moving. We're going to keep moving. Because you have to. You can't stop. I mean, I take that back. You can. You don't want to. Because you play to win. Right? Yeah. I do. Don't always succeed, but I always try. That's important. So here we go. Moving forward, I'm on this other flank here to what would be my... I can't read my compass on my screen right now because it's a replay. A little grainy. But I'm on the way to what I believe on my screen is C point, and what I see here is a target-rich environment. Very good for torpedo bombers. Very good. And I want to help my team capture this area. So here we go. I'm actually moving in to try and strike some enemy ships. Even if I'm just spamming, at this point it will have an impact. It will force enemy ships to maneuver in ways they wouldn't otherwise do. It's a good thing. It's a good thing for my team. Not a good thing for their team. And this shot right here, I tried, but did not get the angle. So I had to call that one off, and we're moving out. So we're rolling hard left right there to get out of there. Trying to dodge those flak bursts and stay out of those without losing too many planes. And I lose them anyways because, modern metrics. Yes. Modern meta. Yes. Just the way it is, but that's okay. It's part of the game, right? I wouldn't feel any better or worse if I had found myself in the same position with, let's say, a DD, and I had overextended like that. But I'm a CV. I'm a carrier, carrier vessel in this case. So I can actually move around and do some different things. So now we're up with dive bombers instead of torpedo bombers, and we're going to make some things happen here. By the way, I'm new to YouTube, and this narration thing is actually kind of fun. I can put on my broadcaster voice, take my time, run this through a few clips. It's actually kind of fun. And I hope anybody who watches this is honestly entertained by it as well. Because right now what I'm doing is just traversing the map, and I'm moving in to the closest target that I have. He's also vulnerable, so I'm taking the shot. Here we go. Right up in the air. Right down. Hey, fiddle diddle, right through the middle. Yep. Couple incapacitations. No damage. No damage there. So right now, again, I said this was a mediocre game because it really is. I'm only at 1,800 damage right now. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot, but I've had a pretty significant impact. We already have the middle cap. We're working on the other, and we're denied the other cap. But that's all right. So here we go. We're coming in on another strike here. And this is on a cruiser, by the way. That's pretty risky, actually, for a tier 8 who's either up-tiered or down-tiered, depending on where you fall in the matchmaking. And I didn't lose all those planes there, but I did send them back, I do believe, because this is 2 weeks old, and I'm working off my memory. Bear with me. I'm new at this. There's a little... I don't know if that's going to be visible later or not, but that was a little blip from the... little Discord server there. So here we go, and I'm actually working and waiting for planes to be resupplied. And there we go, we're back up. Another squadron in the air, and we're gonna basically at this point rinse and repeat. And although this game starts off really, really mediocre, it does actually end up in me getting a solo warrior. Not because I did anything wonderful or spectacular here at all. The reason I end up with a solo warrior is more circumstance. Just like how the world finds your place more than you do it. It's the way it goes. It's the way it goes. So we're dropping some torpedoes to turn that destroyer around. And we're trying to keep him spotted, but he's in smoke. So the farther away I go, he turns his AA guns off. I can't see him anymore. So we're going to fly right by and start looking for another target. It's playing a carrier in the modern meta, even though it's more arcade style, is not really that much different than playing any other ship. In a cruiser or a destroyer or a battleship, the whole goal is to keep your guns hot, right? Same thing in a carrier. But you're not really rewarded for spotting, which is actually a carrier's best attribute, in my opinion, at this current time in this particular game. Is you can spot so many targets so quickly and so basically repetitively that I really think they need to introduce a mechanic to reward that, but that is not here yet. However, being that you're rewarded for damage and consequence against the enemy team, you obviously try to do as much damage as possible and be as influential as possible. That's absolutely true, and that's what I'm trying to do right here. I'm just out in the open and all on my own, kind of back of the map in this one. I did not want to overextend, and I did not want to place myself in a vulnerable position. And my partner, Wombat, he is working furiously to keep capture points and other things, like enemy ships, either in our possession or at bay, whichever they may be. And I'm trying to complement his efforts by being influential on the other side of the map, or at least in the middle. Which so far in this game I have been able to do. But there will be some things coming up very shortly here. We're almost 10 minutes in here. I know it's a 20-minute video, but we're almost there, and we have basically we're being heavily contested is what's happening. And on the flank where I currently am with my planes, our team has buckled. So me, in response, what I have done in this individual game here is I'm actually trying to do as much damage on that flank as possible, because the more damage I can do to these ships on the other flank... Oh, I forgot this guy was beached here. And I missed because he starts moving. But, hey, still made him move, right? So by influencing one flank and helping the ships left alive from my team on that flank, my whole goal there is to actually help my team by preventing the progress of the enemy team in whatever form or fashion it could be. Whether that be forcing them to maneuver, or forcing them to use their damage control abilities, or forcing them to reveal their positions. Whatever it may be, that was my whole goal. So here we go again. We're bringing up torpedo bombers again. And for the remainder of this match, if my memory serves me correctly, we're actually going to be pretty much in this position. And I'm going to stay here, for the most part. I do believe I moved my ship a little bit. Oh, got a kill there. Gotta love that. But still, like I said, unremarkable. Only 16,000 damage at a tier 8 game in a carrier. Not that great. But I'm thinking more about strategy than I am numbers at this point. And this was a slick move here. I actually dodged the carcass of that other ship there with my planes, dropped the torpedoes, and I score some hits. Yes, right there, I score some hits. Very, very cool. Was that my intention? Well, of course it was. Did I expect it to happen? No. Was I happy about it? You bet. You bet. That's some free damage points. I don't know the exact numbers there, but that was a couple thousand damage for just one torpedo hit. And now, where we are is we are pretty much holding this flank with myself, my partner Wombat, and another DD. And that's not an ideal situation in a game like World of Warships. It really isn't. You really want more support than that. But we already have the opposite side of the map fully secured. It's only the center cap that's contested. We're winning on points. Sort of. That will change in a moment. And now we're in on attack runs, and it's time to score some free damage. Except I can't shoot. So hey, there we go. But I'm spotting targets. I'm being active on the map. Carriers under the current meta have a very, very active play. It's just not the way it used to be, where it was all damage. Now it's very, very much so spotting, but you're only rewarded for certain dynamics. It's very interesting. Really is. And I don't play carriers all the time because the arcade style thing is not what I am used to. I am very much so more accustomed to the RTS gameplay and like things like StarCraft and Warcraft and games like that have given me pretty decent ability to manipulate keyboard functions and mechanics that have made me relatively successful in RTS gameplay. And oh yeah, now we're back. Now we're here. We're arcade style with carriers, but you still have a very prominent role for your team, regardless whether you're up tiered or down tiered. It doesn't matter. You can still spot. You can still make influential actions, but you have to take your pick and pick your battles correctly, because if you do not, well, you will have a negative outcome. In this case, I did a little bit of both. Because what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to pick targets, but they're all vastly superior in their anti-aircraft capabilities than I am to defeat them. Therefore, I lose aircraft quickly, right there. 2 in 1 go. And coming out of that, I do manage to get some drops off there. And I'm going for another one. I just transition to another target. I end up getting a hit there. That's awesome. But that's as easy as it is to have a whole squadron of planes gone. And now this next squadron, if my memory calls, yes, is dive bombers. So we're keeping our ammunition ready, we're keeping our guns loaded, and we're going back out to try and make an impact upon the enemy team. But we've already lost a few more ships. So we were quite well ahead in points earlier, but now we're not. Now we're pretty much neck and neck. We're only roughly 50 points apart. Roughly 600 and what is that? 627 to 690-ish. So yeah, neighborhood, give or take 50 points without busting out a notepad and a calculator. They taught me to shoot in the Army, not to add. So here we are, and now I'm back out, and there's obviously someone contesting this flank that I'm moving to. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm trying to find who this is and see if I can reset the cap to stop our cap point ticker from timing us out of the game entirely. Because if they take this flank, would that be the end of the game? No. No, it wouldn't. Would it help us if I did nothing? Absolutely not. So, I'm going to move forward and try and do something. But you can see how easy it is to get walloped. I mean, oh man. But I make a pretty good shot here. Not terrible, not great, but I get 2 defense ribbons off of it. And now we're up to 30,000 damage. Now, in this video right now, we're, 3/4 of the way through. And I'm 3/4 of the way through the damage I'm going to do over the course of this game. So, is damage the most important thing in this game? No. Is it the thing you're most highly rewarded for? Absolutely. I agree. In my opinion. If anybody knows anything else about that and you can prove me wrong, do so. I appreciate it. But we're going back out here. And I'm going back for the same target again. Because I've kept my ship moving just a little bit. And I'm trying to help my team out. And right now I'm heading... They've already gotten the other cap. There it is. So now I'm trying to help the 2 ships right in the center of the map. Because the more I can do here, the better. I drop a fighter consumable. Try and help them out with those enemy torpedo bombers. And now we're going to see what we can see. Because again, one of the best things you can do with these really fast attack aircraft is spot targets for your team. That helps them make better decisions on the map. And we're going to take the shot. Total miss. Total miss. Thank you, RNGesus. Thank you, Dispersion. But now I can transition to the enemy carrier. So I'm going for it on this one. I am outright going for it. Here we go. We're going to take the shot. And whoa, one lucky one right there. I know that was a bad shot. But I did get a fire, which means I forced his damage control ability. So we're going back up again. I mean, why not at this point, right? It's endgame. We're now 3 ships to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's 2-1. It is 2-1 in this game right now, and we're moving on. Moving on to the end of the game. And oh boy, it is not looking good. It's 2 destroyers versus myself. Well, actually, I take that back. I worded that wrong. 2 destroyers with myself versus the entire enemy team. But this is what ends up leading me to getting a solo warrior. And it's, again, it's much more circumstance than it is my actions. It's just where I am in this game. I get a pretty broad shot there against 2 ships. Only 2 pens, a little bit of damage. So we're moving on. Transition to the next target, and we lose all our planes in the process. Who do I pick next? Let's see. We don't have any full squadrons, so I'm kind of waiting here and taking my time to decide what I want to do. I look at the map, I check my position, and where I want to be. This ends up being, unknowingly to me at the time, a pretty critical decision because I have lots of places that I could go, but I only place my ship in where I want to be, basically, which is on my current course. That ends up being very important because it is the friendly Shimakaze that I do try to support either directly or indirectly. And it's at this point where I realize how outgunned we are. So watching this again in past tense and thinking about this game where it's really very rare to get a solo warrior in a carrier, that my decisions were much more so luck than skill. But here we go. What's our first target? It's the lowest health target. That's who. It's this enemy cruiser over here. Because why not? If we can eliminate him, you take the guns out of the fight. That's less guns you have to fight. There we go. There's a drop on him. Transition targets. Maneuver. Stay away from those flak bursts if we can. No, we can't. Oh boy. Yeah. And that was a total miss. But we did, if you watch that last clip right there, that cruiser did have to maneuver because of what I did. So that's basically what I've been doing this whole game, is intervening with enemy ships and forcing them to move. So now we're back out with a 2/3 squadron of dive bombers. That's 4 out of 6. Saipan has pretty low squadron sizes. And I dropped a fighter consumable there to hitch up any enemy planes that might be coming from my carrier, because I was spotted. And now I'm moving in trying to get a good angle on this cruiser. I do believe that's the Buffalo. It's hard to read on my screen right now. And I lead them. I lead the target. And I run them on in, and I take it to the last possible second. And there we go. There's the drop. There's a penetration. There's a fire. And I'm hoping this will do the trick, because all my planes are gone. It didn't. He is still alive. So what's the fastest thing to hit the nearest threat? Attack bombers. Bring it on, baby. Here we go. And I drop another fighter consumable. I'm basically screening my carrier from the enemy carrier at this point. And I'm the only ship left alive, and it's 889 points to 900, so I have to kill this ship. I have to do it. There we go. There's a kill. Off of one penetrating hit. And that point trade alone was enough to win the game. It's not always about damage. A lot of times, it's about circumstance and effort. But if anybody finds this to be entertaining, I hope you liked it. If you didn't, that's okay too. You know, I'll be back in a couple of days, hopefully with something better. But we ended up with a solo warrior in a saipan with 39,000 damage, 10 spots, and 5 torpedo hits, 3 kills, 2 defense ribbons. Not a bad game. Not really remarkable, but not a bad game at all. Did finish second in the team. My partner finished middle of the pack. And all in all, I was really happy with the outcome. A little compliment there. And let's see what we got here. We did get some decent damage on the Buffalo especially. A lot of the other ships we killed were, one-shots. Low health ships, isolated targets. But all in all, not a bad game. Hope you guys liked it. Take care. We'll talk to you later.